Righto, boys. Quick Hands Rugby League podcast. All things footy. Back with episode 67. This is the pod that tells it like it is. Artie, George, welcome back, gents.
Welcome back, everybody.
What's doing?
How's things?
How was it? The week of rugby league, it just passed, The weekend.
It was a weird one.
It was a weird one,
Yeah.
Crazy weather.
Crazy.
Friday.
Oh, nuts. Nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. George, where's round 5?
It's in the can, Nicola, in the can. I remember it, in the can, mate.
That's it,
in the
man.
can.
We've got some stuff to talk about this week.
We have. Also, so everybody knows, if I'm not that knowledgeable, I was a little bit underneath the weather this weekend, so I might have not watched everything. But what I watched, I'm a guy who'll tell you all about it. So let's do it, Nicola.
Good stuff. Well, let's hit in the controversy corner and we'll look at a few of the things to talk about in no particular order. Obviously, this seems to be a pattern. We're starting with Latrell again.
Don't start me.
3-week ban.
Yeah.
For the reckless elbow and a concerning notice letter for the lifting tackle.
Well, at least he got suspended this time. I think it's going to be good for him, man. Good for him and South. It's good that that was taken out of his hands and he's got a bit of time to reset and maybe think about the year going forward. It was a bad incident. It was horrible what he did. The forearm to Sean Johnson, poor Sean Johnson.
Both of them are
and the other one.
Don't forget the speed tackle.
And
it was a
lifting.
If that
was a lifting tackle.
Well, look, I mean, he did get a concerning notice letter for that.
Yeah.
Wonder what Nathan Cleary would have got.
Imagine what Jared Weir-Hargraves would have got.
All we know. Wonder what Nathan would have got for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 weeks, maybe?
I can't believe he didn't even get nothing. Like, not even a charge to answer.
You got a letter.
A letter, yeah.
But that's not Latrell's fault.
No, of course not.
What he did was wrong. But
course not.
What, the lifting tackle?
No, what he did, the lifting tackle was terrible, but it's not his fault on the punishment. You know what I mean?
No,
it's up to the MRC and give it to him. So
with Latrell, this is the problem. For some unknown reason, you got me riled up again, Artie. You got me riled up. For some unknown reason, everybody wants to protect this kid. Forget racism. Forget his background. Everybody, for some unknown reason, since he's been a youngster, they've been trying to protect him. You know what? Let me suggest something. Okay, things that he does, like that elbow.
That was terrible.
Okay, like the lifting tackle.
Both incidents were terrible.
Like the Manu thing when he smashed his one of his best friends' jaw, and when Manu got up and said, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that, mate?" He started mouthing off to him. Okay, these things. Normal human beings don't do these things. Normal human beings, Artie, don't do things.
Don't forget kneeing out a car in the head.
Kneeing out a car. And
he seems to go after his friends.
How about what he did to Paul Frizzell against Newcastle? So you know what? I'm not a doctor. I'm no doctor. But you know what? I'm going to put it out there. I think he's got mental issues.
Yeah.
No, well, it's their order to say.
No, I just think he's arrogant.
So
white line fever, man.
So here we go. Nico
says
he's just arrogant. Okay. Well, wait a minute. When you push arrogance, you start having mental issues because we know he hates authority.
No, but
he hates authority.
But I have to be honest with you, that pisses me off because every time someone gets in the shit, they play the mental health card.
Well, I'm saying,
he hasn't.
Beyond that.
He hasn't.
Yeah, I'm saying
right?
it's beyond that. I'm saying that he actually has
He's just an arrogant, overconfident.
I think he's got
and it's
issues.
coming back. 6 weeks ago, he did a live television interview where he said, "I'm going to show everyone that I'm the best fullback in the game." Well, you know what? A month later, he's not even a fullback.
He's not a first grader,
right? So I've been saying it for weeks. Just shut up. Stay out of the spotlight. Look. Right? Stop doing stupid things when you know your club is under the spotlight. And both of those incidents were unnecessary and stupid. Even his coach said so.
They were silly incidents, absolutely.
Unnecessary.
Frustration.
Stop playing the victim. For God's sake, Latrell, stop playing the victim. Okay, I know you're insecure because you know when you go around saying trillions and I'm going to be the best fullback in the game. Well, you're telling yourself because you're not showing us. It's one thing telling everybody, but you know you're showing us that. I don't know. Is he a first grader? How he's playing? I don't know because they dropped Cookie.
Absolutely not. No, I would drop him to New South Wales Cup. I would have done it 2 weeks ago.
So that's what
his
I'll
performances
say.
have been terrible.
That's what I'll say.
Terrible.
So look, you know what? All he's succeeded in doing, you know what? I'm not going to say that because that's JD's fault. But what that group succeeded doing is lost a good man's job. By the sounds of it, JD's gone. He's lost his job, and thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. In saying that, a lot of it's JD's fault because he can't handle big stars.
I don't blame the players for that.
I do,
Mate.
I don't blame the players for that. If the coach can't control him, the coach can't control him. That means he's just not good. Maybe he's not as good of a coach as you think he is.
He's not as experienced as we thought he was. Yeah.
I'll throw something out to you, mate. He's done some really nasty, he's done some really foul play, as we say, right? But if you remember Billy Slater, there was a couple of really nasty incidents that he did where he was throwing kicks at people's heads and stuff like that, right? And they've got him as an immortal, as a king.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
If Latrell was carving up, if Latrell was carving up, well, performance says everything.
No, I disagree. That's not Billy Slater.
Says everything.
Billy Slater did none of the things that Latrell does.
No, he didn't.
Right?
It was pretty dirty though.
He's a grub.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that with the way
so is Smith.
The way he stuck his foot out and flying kicked every time he caught a bomb.
Exactly.
Or the way he put the knees in the whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the guy didn't break COVID lockdown riding motorbikes and shooting guns off.
That's true.
The guy doesn't go on Instagram and say and do stupid things.
He hates authority.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hates authority.
Make no mistake about it. Everything that's happening to Latrell in terms of the spotlight, he has brought on himself.
Absolutely.
All right? Now, you got to deal with it.
Absolutely. He has brought it on to himself. He hates authority. The only reason he hates authority because everybody puts tippy toes around him. Oh, it's okay, Latrell. No, it's okay.
But isn't that the problem? If they were finding him straight away from the beginning, then he would be more reactive to it. But because he can get away with it, that's why he probably does it. Well, so it's the NRL, MRC, whoever puts out these fines. They should be fining him each time.
I'm sure.
Like Victor Radley, just like Hargraves, they always get smashed.
Well,
and they learn from it. They come back and try and fix it. Whereas Victor he doesn't, and it's not good for him.
Well, you I'm sure you've heard what Gus said about Latrell when he met him at 17. He turned around to Robbo and said, "Listen, mate, you better get a grip on this because he can get out of hand really quickly." What did Robbo do after 3 years? Showed him the door.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
He needs a strong coach around him, that's for sure. Did he do any? Was he acting up much with Wayne Bennett?
Yeah, but Wayne nipped it apparently in the bud. He did.
Yeah.
He got them both. He got Cody and Latrell behind closed doors. And would nip it in the bud.
Maybe
the thing about
is it a coaching issue then? Is it Dimitri? Obviously,
it is. Yeah. So the thing about Wayne is that this second right here, he can be treating you like trash, and you're feeling like a piece of rubbish. And you know what? When we're walking out the door, we're best of mates. We're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that ability. That's a real coach. And same as John Kreese. Sorry, Nicola.
Maybe he's just not as good as everyone thinks he is.
JD?
No, Latrell Mitchell.
The thing is, we've seen enough to know.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, look, he was a good centre at the Roosters.
Yeah.
Many players have been.
He showed a little bit at
the South. Yeah.
A
fullback is South.
What, really? What have you seen?
At the start, when he wasn't a fullback, when he was a centre at Souths, when Maguire was there.
Yeah.
We saw enough to know he's
I just haven't, put it this way, I would not want him at my club.
Oh, no, would I? No. Him,
Personally.
Cody, please, no. No, and I can't believe that Paul Cookie got dropped.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's disappointing.
We'll get to that. What about the latest breaking news today is that they're saying that this is Dimitri's last game, win, lose or draw, and that Mount Meninga is going to be brought in for the rest of the season.
They must have thought
that's unbelievable. That is really unbelievable.
Mount Meninga, who's not, to my knowledge, been linked to any club coaching role, interim or otherwise, since he got sacked from his own club, Canberra.
Exactly, and he was
well over a decade ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously he would have learned a lot since then, but not in clubland.
Yeah. Who else is out there available apart from Mal to get immediately to jump in? Who would you go for anyway?
It doesn't
immediately.
To me, it sounds like the deal's done.
Yeah.
It sounds like from what I read and saw today, it sounds like the deal is already done.
Wow.
Do you think it's a coincidence that it's Mal Meninga?
That's blowing me
we'll
away.
have to
I only
wait
just
and
heard
see.
this 5 minutes ago, so that's why
We'll
I still
have to
haven't
wait and see.
thought about it. But what would you do? You believe in the sacking of one after one game? Would you sack Dimitriou
One game, what do you mean?
after this game? Do you think he should be sacked?
Look, I don't think when it comes to sacking a coach, I don't think it can be based on just one game.
Yeah,
Like I think that's you've got a month to show us something.
yeah.
Or maybe they had that conversation a month ago. I don't know. But they've won 4 or 5 games in 15 or 16 or more.
Something like that.
It's a horrible record.
Halfway through last year, they were coming first, so everyone thought these guys are bees' knees, and then it just went south.
And
so
they've gone downhill ever
it's
since.
just
So
been bad. So he's got something there to show that he can coach, but yeah, it's just the last 6 to 8 months, it's just been horrible. And
look, I
don't know, man.
I've criticised him as a coach, but I didn't think he was going to end up being unemployed this early in the season. But that's what it looks like is going to happen.
I've got nothing. I mean, it's there for to see. We've seen it in front of us unfold in the last year and a half. So,
and on top, to compound all of this, young Ilias broken leg,
yes,
out for the season.
It's sad.
And
yes.
so they've got their halfback for the rest of the year, whether they like it or not.
Dean Hawkins.
And your mate, the Greek prodigy, has been elevated into Damien Cook's place.
You know what? Like, I'm all for Mamazoulis to get a crack. I mean, I'm happy about that. But the way it happened, I'm not. I'm a little bit sour about it, and I don't know. I don't know how Mamazoulis feels. And
do you guys think Damien Cook is a bit of a scapegoat, or do you think he deserves to be dropped?
well, he's not playing well.
He's
but
not playing well.
He's not the only
I
one,
wouldn't
is he?
drop him.
Exactly, yeah.
I wouldn't drop him.
But then again, he does have to make some kind of drastic move.
He has to do
And
something.
he can't drop Latrell because he's suspended
Yeah.
for 3 weeks.
So
So
that would have been the ultimate drop.
that would have been the ultimate backbone move as well from the coach. But unfortunately, that's taken out of his hands now.
I think the 5'8's been playing a little worse than the hooker, to be honest.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah,
Cody
agreed,
hasn't been
yeah.
playing
So
well.
For me, I was
to pick
thinking I probably wouldn't have dropped Cook. I would have dropped Cody and moved Whiten to 6.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know, and we'll see. We'll see in front of us on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they're playing on the Mamazoulis move. But we know that when another coach comes in, he's going to put Damien Cook straight into the first grade again.
Yeah, and do you think there might be a little bit of pressure on this kid coming in? Or do you think he's got no pressure whatsoever?
He's a good talent. He's not a young. He's not a bad player at all. He's fantastic.
He's only got 8 games, so we
I
haven't
know,
seen, don't put a curse on him.
I'm not. I'm just.
Like don't
Yeah. No, he's
both Demetrio and Ilias are out for the season. Don't put Mamazoulis there as well, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
with a jinx.
Forget about the fact that he's Greek for a minute.
That's got nothing to do with it. I think he's good.
Future immortal.
I don't think he should. I think he should. Like, I don't think he should be carrying that amount of pressure.
No,
and I'm not saying that he is, by the way. I don't know that anyone's got any kind of expectation, but he's feeling huge.
He must be.
Right?
He must be because I mean he's taking officially he's taking somebody's role, which I think in the
A
back,
representative player's role.
I think in the back of his mind he knows that, let's say, when there is, and there's no doubt about it, when there is a coaching change, the coach is going to bring Cook
Signed for
straight
4 years.
What if they brain?
Mamazoulis is signed for 4 more years.
They signed him for 4 years.
What if he has a blinder? What if he absolutely brains it and smashes it?
He stays.
He stays.
Absolutely.
What would Cookie get?
Look,
he can do it too. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Let's not forget, he's on a 4-year deal.
Exactly.
Cook got a 2-year extension when he wanted 3, right? Last year, was it?
Yeah.
So he is the successor.
Exactly.
Right? Into the dummy half. So maybe it's just a case of, you know what, let's speed things up and get rid of Cook for his last year. Let's see if we can offload him.
Wow.
This is just me, right? I haven't read it anywhere or anything like that. But if he's the heir to the dummy half role, if he's the successor,
They say he is, yeah.
and he's signed on a 4-year contract, well, what are we waiting for? It's time to freshen things up. Let's start now.
Well, let's see what happens.
Damien Cook's what, 32?
No, he's more.
30, 34?
Yes.
You know what? See who needs him.
St George can need a hooker. He can come back to his junior boy where it all started. So,
Let's start. I remember he came into grade at Canterbury, right? Is that, or did
Yes,
he?
yeah,
did he
yeah. Well, I think it's St George
St
Junior.
George Junior.
St George
I
Junior.
think he played a couple of games, and then it was out of him and who was the other guy?
We'll have to.
Cameron. I can't remember the other guy.
But he played at
But
Canterbury.
then, they selected the other guy instead of him, and then he went to Canterbury.
Yeah, he
and
went
then
to Canterbury.
He made, I I think he might have played one game at St George, but then after that
He didn't. He wasn't
started
happy.
Canterbury.
Yeah, he wasn't happy at Canterbury. But when he went to
South,
South, he just fitted in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played good at Canterbury too, but yeah,
He
it was
did,
just
no, he
on and
did.
off. Like, it was hot and cold.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Mm.
Trent Robinson.
Trent Robinson.
So you guys see the Dominic Young send-off?
Yeah.
In his press conference, Trent Robinson said he didn't deserve a send-off.
No.
He said if you looked at it, his hand was open. It wasn't closed fist. His arm was below his shoulder.
And he hit him in the head.
The guy's 12 feet tall, right? He hit him flush on the jaw. Blake Taft was unconscious before he hit the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Trent Robinson saying again, if this is the new benchmark that we're setting, I just hope they're consistent. Like, actually, Gordon Tallis last night said, "What is he on?
Yeah.
Like seriously, what is he on?"
And then when I heard the presser, I took a Bex and had a lie down. I go with Trent. Come on, mate. Trent.
You're better than that, right?
Trent. Yeah. No, look. They targeted him. I liked the first half game plan. They kicked to Dominic Young. They crowded him. He got frustrated. He rushed in. And yeah, he hit him on the.
That was flush.
Hit him on the chin. Once you shoot through, you got to be very confident and know exactly what you're doing because, man, we see all the time shooters get into trouble. All the time, shooters and outside back shooters. If you're a middle and you're a shooter, it's straight on.
It's all about timing.
Yeah. If you're an outside back, you're going across, and it just
fraught
with danger.
Does it make it harder with the height difference?
Yes, absolutely it does. Yeah. And
Makes
don't
it
forget,
harder.
Taffy's what?
5'4", and Dom's pretty young, pretty tall.
6'8".
Exactly. So.
Dom's pretty young.
Dom's pretty tall, so
pretty tall and pretty young. Yeah. So
it's pretty hard.
An unhappy start for his Roosters career.
Has he? I haven't looked. What's his penalty for it? How many games?
And, I didn't know anything.
Dominic Young.
I
haven't looked.
2 or 3 weeks.
I think it was 3 weeks. Same as Latrell. Same thing.
Which, to be honest with you, we've seen 2 hip drops given 2 weeks each, and so far I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. The penalties aren't too over the top. None of these incidents, whether it's knocking someone out with a forearm or kneeing someone in the head or elbowing someone in the head or almost breaking someone's ankle with a hip drop, none of them are as bad as calling someone a monkey.
Apparently.
That's actually so.
Don't start me. Apparently.
So far on the Richter scale, that's more than twice as serious when you look at the penalties that are given. So anyway, interesting.
What a interesting. Interesting. I don't know, say era we're living in, Nicola.
Yeah, it's
when words are harsher.
Sticks and stones will break my bones.
That's what I think too.
Words will never hurt me.
That's what I think too, Nicola. That's what I said when that original incident happened with the
2 matches.
You got 2 matches?
Yeah.
He pleaded an early guilty plea.
Okay.
Well, and again, like that's pretty consistent with what we've seen with some of the other suspensions so far this year. And I actually like it because I don't like seeing players going for 6 to 8 weeks for, these things happen in a game of footy. I'm not talking about stupid ones. I'm just talking about missed time contact. So I'm cool with that. Personally, I'm fine with that. Mind you, Sevo got 3 games for a shoulder charge in a trial game.
Who?
Sevo. Yeah. But what about Flanagan, Artie? In his press conference, he was pretty scathing. When he was talking about the fullbacks loan,
that was really bizarre because he was scathing, and we expected a lot of change, and
he hasn't changed. But
there wasn't any change. The only change he did was move one of the bench players off, Michael Molo, and brought in Hame Saleh, and just moved Blake Lawrence. Just played around with the forwards. So
he actually said when you're playing fullback, you've got to put your head where other people put their feet, and he didn't do that on 3 occasions. And then he also said there'll be more changes to come.
Exactly, which was really strange.
That's probably just him putting the team on notice.
It's interesting situation with Slaney because I think they're still discussing extension because his contract's up at the end of the year. So he's one of the guys they're looking at.
He's a very good fullback.
He is, but
like most players, he's got areas he needs to improve on.
Yeah, he's improved from last year. I see improvement. That game didn't do him justice. It was pretty ordinary. Zach Lomax was outstanding at fullback in saying that. But with Sloaney, he got injured early and didn't get to have a full off season, which I think Flanagan wanted to utilise. But didn't happen. He's on thin ice. And when you consider Buller and a few other guys that have come out at the same time and they've excelled and Sloan's still there, you know, I don't know. It's a tough situation. How long do you give this kid? I don't know. I think he's been playing better this year, but yeah, he just had one bad game. But you get that.
I don't think there's like anyone. It's like when we talk about coaches, like new coaches. I don't think there's any one barometer that you can put on. Every situation is isolated. You know? I've seen enough with that kid that you got to give him time. There's a talent there, and if you let him go,
it's
he's going to explode in a different jersey. You can see it happening.
I don't know. Watch him in defence.
No, but that can be learnt.
Yeah,
that can be taught, right?
Yeah, true.
They say defence is attitude, right?
Yeah,
like skills can be learnt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I feel sorry for him because a couple of years ago, under similar conditions, no joke, it was cyclonic. I don't know how you say it, whatever. There's a lot of winds and stuff. Cyclonic, yeah. Conditions at Shark Park, and he had a shocker. He had a shocker, and then he had the same thing at the Knights, similar conditions, I think slightly worse. So, and got dropped as well for both games, or got dropped for the Sharks game, and possibly for this one here. So the poor kid plays bad under really extreme weather. So it's pretty.
But that's also another good point. Under those kind of weather conditions, did you see how bad it was?
It was terrible.
It's pretty hard to judge anyone, isn't it? Right. Like who makes mistakes.
That game was an abortion of a game. Like you just had to go through the 80 minutes. It was a tough watch.
It was.
And it wasn't much of a game to judge anyone or anything about. Just whoever got a lucky break, basically. So there's no judgment on that game.
Yeah.
You can't even – there's not even much talking points out of that game.
It's interesting if Ramsey did not have that medical condition, if Sloan would have even got a run, because Ramsey was killing it at the time and he was going to be the fullback. So Sloan's would have come in as a second option. You know what I mean? So
Ramsey paid out, gone from the club?
No, well, next year. They've paid. He's there next year. He was supposed to finish this year, but they extended him for 1 year. They're sort of hoping he gets better. But yeah, interesting.
So along the same lines, Parramatta had another shocker.
Oh God!
Right, so Brad Arthur's dropped Sivo, and the youngster Blaze Talagi, and he's brought in Morgan Harper. I don't know.
Like for like.
Sorry, he's also brought in
Dejan
Arce, but he's named Dylan Brown at 7 again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just a ploy or not, because Brown's clearly not a number 7. He's got a great short kicking game. He's a great 5'8", but he's not an organiser, and he doesn't have a good long kicking game. So I'm assuming that they'll swap roles come kickoff.
Yeah.
Did you hear? You know that they've got a youngster called Sanders?
Yeah, they went for. So he's the number 7.
He's
right?
the number 7, and he was told that he was the backup for Moses, basically.
Yeah, but apparently he's done a deal with Canberra, and he's going to Canberra. So
out of frustration, though, because he doesn't feel like he's given a fair run.
No, that's fair enough. But when you're behind Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown, you can't expect...
Exactly, yeah.
You know, you can't... I mean, I said it to George the other day. I go, well... When Moses goes down with a broken foot, if you're young Sanders, you think, well, here's my shot.
Yeah.
And he still didn't get a look in.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't understand why, but I haven't really seen him play either. Apparently the coach said he's got defensive issues.
Yeah, exactly. I heard that as well.
I don't know.
I've seen him play. I'll tell you something. He's not ready.
Yeah.
Maybe for a game, but he's not ready for
But let's not forget the 2 lower grades at Parramatta are both winless so far this year.
Yeah,
they haven't won a single game. 5 games, 5 losses. So there's not much to pluck from there, is there?
Yeah, you're right.
So no wonder they were trying to get in contact with Mitchell Pearce. Sivo 1 game back, scores 2 tries, and he's been dropped. So again, I got no problem with that, but I wouldn't drop him for Morgan Harper. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, he's.
What about Simonson? Has he been dropped to?
No, he's been shifted to the wing, and Harper's in the centre.
So Bradley Simonson's really been shafted as well because he's moved from his wing centre position.
From centre to wing, yeah.
So
from centre to wing.
So he's rating Brad's putting Harper higher than mind you, Wing does a lot.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Wing.
I like Simonson. I think he's a gun. I like him.
He is a gun.
Yeah.
He's a gun. Him and Blaze, both of them, they're guns.
Yeah, and Blaze. I'm surprised he got. He didn't. Why didn't he put him at centre? We put him in the halves.
Or wing.
Or wing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
I think that's the future, those two and Panasini moving forward.
Well, Panasini's a lock. You're not going to move him anywhere. He's locked in that right centre position.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's moving forward. That's the future for Parramatta, for mine anyway.
So Micah Seaver has 70 tries in 86 games. That's an 82% scoring rate.
Well, you're right, because every time we go to the ground, we see him score one or two.
And the thing is, a lot of people say, yeah, but anyone can score those tries. If that's the case, why doesn't everyone score those tries?
Mm-hmm.
They don't. No. Like being in position, the timing and all that is such a big thing.
He's a beast,
but he does have defensive issues, and his ball carries are pretty unimpressive for someone his size.
Coming out of a dirty ball, yeah.
Is it because they can see Cowboys come on the weekend and they think, against the Cowboy with backs who are outstanding?
I mean, look,
let's get someone out there that. But Morgan Harper.
That's my point. That's if I have no problem with him being dropped, but I wouldn't drop him for Morgan Harper. I'd be much happier if they drop Seaver and put the youngster back into the centres.
So who's come again? Who's playing 7?
Dejan Arce.
He played last year. He was okay.
Who's playing 6?
Dylan Brown.
No,
sorry. Dejan Arce's playing 6. Dylan Brown's playing 7.
But
That's
he
how
was
they've been
good.
named.
Arce's good.
But Arce's a genuine 7.
Yes.
Okay. Is he a high ball?
Look, I haven't seen much of him apart from when he filled in last year for a few games.
But he played in the centres back then, didn't he?
No, Dejan Arce played in the halves.
Played in the halves.
When Brown was suspended.
Oh, he
was actually quite
that's
good.
Right, he played 6. Yeah. Yes, that's right. I remember. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Brad must have a plan because he's either going to put the right player in the halves or he has to adjust the game plan just that little bit to suit the whole squad because, that whole Parramatta system revolves around Mitch. So it's like Penrith with Nathan. Everything revolves around Mitch.
The last 2 games have been a much bigger problem than just Mitchell Moses. They've been horrible.
Yes.
The errors, they've made more errors in each of those games than they made in any game last season.
Yeah.
They've been diabolical.
Yeah.
So it's more than just missing one player.
It's loosely based around. Yeah, look, they should have been better. They should be better. They weren't good last week, especially. And Canberra were very good actually last week. But it stems from the number 7 and the game plan. But let's see what he's got for us this week. Good old Brad.
Manly have told Josh Schuster.
Just quickly, mate. DJ Arce, guess where he made his debut?
Where?
For North Queensland, the team you're playing against.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Interesting.
Manly have told Josh Schuster that he can look elsewhere. Less than a year into a 3-year contract, he's being paid $800,000 a season. And he's playing Reggies.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like getting a look in.
Do you know they approached St George straight away because they're all cashed up? They said, "Are you interested?" And Flanagan straight away, "No, we're not interested in him."
And not many people are going to be interested.
Surprised, man.
No, he's got this negative thing attached to him, like with his attitude. A little bit like Moses Sully in his younger days. Remember early in this season, I said Sully at the Dragons, he looks happy.
Yeah.
He's been through 4 clubs or something to get to that point. This guy's got the same issues.
Apparently he's put on a lot of weight too, man.
How much do Manly want to kick in?
I haven't seen that.
Okay. So if Manly kicks in half at least.
I just read that they've got clauses in there to cut him and not pay a cent. Okay. And that's why they're doing it. That's what I read. So whether it's
if I was his manager, I'll be ringing up Melbourne. He needs a strong coach. I'll be ringing up Melbourne. I'll surround him with high quality rugby league IQ.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what he needs. He needs to see senior players sprint and like when they're hurting and they can't sprint anymore, sprint again to make him sprint, to get him to understand that this game is hard work, natural talent. When you're 14 playing ball or whatever, and you're just better and bigger than everybody else, and you just go to training and play handball, that doesn't work in our rule. So he needs to get a reality check.
Didn't he? Was he ever under Des Hasler at Manly? Is that where he made his debut?
I think for the first season, but I don't think Hasler graded him.
Did he? Okay.
He didn't want to grade him.
Because he was under a hard coach then, that's on my point.
But they all call him for Desi to grade him and he wouldn't grade him.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't bring him
so
up.
he could see something there.
Yeah, he wouldn't bring him up. So, but anyway, he's going to have to go by the sounds of it, if not mid-year, next year for sure, because they're going to cut him. And I just hope his manager picks the right next destination, because he could be a floater for the next 5 years and do nothing.
Yeah.
He might end up in England.
It's maybe. No, well, that's even worse.
Who'd kill it?
Oh, I don't know. It's still hard rugby league. If you watched, and I'll talk about Super League later. If you watched Catalans and St Helens, what a game! What a game! So I just hope he makes the right. His manager makes the right decision. And you know what? In loosely, it's the same as Latrell. I mean, all his life he's been told he's the man. He's this, he's that. He rocks up in first grade, and despite sometimes for maybe 10 minutes he tries, but all the rest he's trying to do it on his natural talent. Apparently he's not doing too well in Reggies. But when Ilias went down, apparently he had two of his best games of the year in Reggies. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Look, I hope the best for the kid. There is talent there. So let's hope somebody uses it.
It's a shame. It's a shame because
captures
he
it
showed
and uses it.
First few games he was dynamic. I thought this guy's going to be a star, but it's just a shame.
The thing is, $800K on a cap for that Manly team, that could be used so well.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, they're what they've done in the off season and bolstered their squad, well, just cherry on top now.
A bit of a fairy tale story gone wrong. Michael Jennings is going to play his 300th game. But
but the NRL are not going to honour it.
They're not going to honour it because Buzz Rothfield wrote him a letter.
No.
Did you see that?
No, it wasn't Buzz. No, it didn't come from Buzz, did it?
Buzz wrote him a letter.
Yeah, I saw the letter, but did Buzz kick all that off?
Well, I don't know, but...
Well, he probably thinks he does. He thinks he runs the game.
So is it because he's got the domestic violence issues off his wife? Is that...
That's the reason,
And so, was it a drug thing too? Was he banned for...
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said it's not because of that. It's because there's domestic violence allegations. Now, a civil court, and I stress the word civil...
Okay, yeah.
Said that he's got to pay damages to his ex-wife, $500,000.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what it's worth.
$500,000.
Mind you, the police did not press charges.
Yes.
And they found nothing. So,
and he's pleading innocence. He's still saying
and he hasn't paid $1 yet. And people are saying, well, he hasn't paid anything yet. Why do you think he's not in handcuffs? Like, stop to think about it for a second. If the court's ruled him to pay something, and we're talking about a civil court, not a federal court, he hasn't paid, hasn't been charged, what's the problem? We're not talking about putting him. We're not talking about putting him on a billboard. We're talking about saying congratulations for playing your 300th game.
That's the thing that annoys me about the NRL. They think there's above the law. Like
double standards.
It's ridiculous.
Different people, different
Once
rules.
the guy's charged, jailed, whatever, you can do what you want. But until that happens, you treat them like they're innocent. But the NRL are quickly to make them look guilty for some reason.
Yeah.
And it really it's sad because they don't stick up for him, their own players.
He hasn't been charged by the police for anything, and he won't be.
Exactly.
Well, Artie knows all about NRL and how they react quickly. But you know what? This is even more intriguing. Think of it this way. December, Feathers is sitting down having coffee, and he gets his contract in front of him, and it says Michael Jennings. He goes, "Yeah, I'll stamp that." Wait a minute. If you didn't want this guy in the game, say, Robbo, look, no, sorry, very simple. But no. Feathers, not Feathers. Dumbo stamps it. Okay. Did he talk to Feathers? Let's say he didn't. Feathers does the money. He does. He won't care who plays and doesn't play. So now we've got this really awkward situation. The guy, and you know what? Michael Jennings probably doesn't even care if he gets a game ball, whatever they give him. I don't know what they give him.
Barbecue.
Okay, a barbecue. Yeah, they give him a barbecue. Okay, he doesn't. He probably doesn't care. But you know what? Buzz works out the story and goes splatters it all over the media, and it's an issue. You know what? It's simple, Dumbo. If you don't want a problem, don't put that stamp on it. Very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. But no. That's what I talk about, the incompetence of this board, this NRL. They just keep on putting their foot in their mouths. But you know what? He's made your bed now. Now he's going to sleep in it.
Exactly. I don't know.
It's just like week by week. We'll take every situation on its merit. When you look at the stuff that Latrell's done in the last month, and this, it's for me, it's just baffling. That's all.
I've seen soccer players that have been committed of worse crimes and stuff, and they still played until they were literally jailed. Like the FIFA did not step in, nothing. I think NRL is the only code where they think they can, be above the law and stop people from playing without them being proven guilty yet. You know what I mean?
I would love to see Michael Jennings file a civil suit against the NRL for defamation. You're defaming my character. You're making everybody out there now with these headlines think that I'm guilty of domestic violence, and I'm not.
Well, if he comes out innocent, and if everything gets,
he has.
He has actually, yeah. So he can easily do it. I don't see why not.
And I love how they don't care about the drug issue.
Yeah, right.
That's fine.
Which he was doing. He was taking steroids.
Yeah, he got banned. He got banned. I don't care about that. But him supposedly, allegedly, which he didn't because he got cleared, having some disagreements with his wife. Well, we don't like that. And
we've just given you an example of how much swing a civil court has.
Not much.
Here's our ruling. I'm appealing it. It's upheld. All right, I'm not paying you. And they can't do anything. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, law at its best.
Unbelievable. Before we move into the results, boys, did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I heard something ridiculous. I think Gus Gould's losing it, mate. It really is. 100% footy. Apparently he was saying that if, just say Parramatta or someone gets Zach Lomax for 600,000, St George are liable. They should be paying the rest, the 250 on top of that.
Why?
Is he delusional? Is Canterbury really paying anything for TPG?
Did he really say that?
He said that. He's adamant. He said St George should pay the rest if a team's underpaying him because we overpriced him. And I'm thinking, hang on a second. You had this issue with TPG. What are you paying out of your cap for TPG?
I don't know where he's going with that.
I don't get where he's going.
But I do know the other side of it because years back we had the same issue with Israel Folau when we tried to sign him.
Yeah.
And the NRL decided his market value was X, even though he'd been playing rugby union for 4 years.
The thing is, it's rules now. He's on 850 by St George. He's the one asking for the release. They've granted to him. St George haven't said, he wants to go away to boxing. We don't want to get rid of him or anything. Well, they haven't tried to get rid of him. He's the one who apparently 6 times wants a release. Why should St George have to foot any bill of that? No. They've made an agreement. They've signed off. You can leave us at the end of the year. We're not paying a cent. Yeah. Yet Gus Gould, I found that ludicrous, man.
But what I don't understand is why does the NRL insist on a player's market value? Like at the end of the day, any one of us can accept any salary we like.
Well, again, and what Nick says there, evaluation is what someone's prepared to pay. If someone's not prepared to pay 800,000, well, that's
no. But my point is, let's say, like what happened. I know it was a long time ago with Folau.
That was wrong.
Let's say Zach Lomax agrees to sign with someone for 350,000 a year. The NRL will say no, you can't because you're worth more than that. Well, who are you to say that?
I agree.
If the player and the employer agree,
that's it.
What's it to them?
Well, Gus Gould's point was, they overpriced him and no one could afford him. What about TPJ? Someone could have got him. No, but Canterbury offered him. He was on big dollars at the Dogs.
But if that's
so, why aren't they paying 800 now?
But if what he said is true, right?
So did Lomax. He's getting released.
No, but if what Gus said is true, what you just said, that the Dragons overpriced him because they said that was his value, right? Yeah. Who gives a shit?
He doesn't have to leave.
No, that's right. He's the one who asked to leave.
Exactly.
They're prepared to pay him that much, so they think he's worth that much. Doesn't mean someone else thinks he's worth that much. And it's no one's business.
And the salary cap stipulates whatever the player's value is at the club has to remain at the thing. So before Parramatta started trying to get him across and having dinners at Brad Arthur's house.
No, but that doesn't hold if a contract's terminated.
But he should have discussed how much are you going to pay me? Not, okay, I've organised a release, guys, ready. And then Parramatta say, we're only going to pay you 600. Like, you're going to think, what? I went through all that and I'm going to get shortchanged 200 grand.
But it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if a contract is terminated.
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter. When
Well,
a contract's terminated, that's it. It's
over.
terminated. It's over.
Start again.
You can start from scratch, whatever you both agree on.
I don't know what. Look, you know what?
It was weird.
I know one thing.
It is a weird comment. Yeah.
I know one thing. Everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is calculated and thought about. So
Yeah.
there's something. He's setting something up. It's like the other day he came out and said that about the team selections. He goes, "That's not mine." He goes, "That's Cameron. Now, he can make his own bed, this and that." I'm thinking, oh, he's setting something up here. He's setting something up here. So because we know who's selecting the team.
Yeah.
So everything is thought out when it comes to.
Yeah, it's
So
just
he's
weird.
setting something
It's
up.
just weird how he
He's
wanted St
setting
George to
something
pay
up.
some money out of this. Ridiculous.
No, that normally happens when a player leaves mid-contract and a club contributes. That's normal, but this is not that situation.
Yeah,
They've both agreed to go separate ways.
yeah.
So it's a clean break.
It's crazy because he's on 850. If Parramatta are offering him 600, he's going to lose 250,000. That's a strange.
That's not true either.
Strange.
So Parramatta offered him between 7 and 750.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what they offered
So
him.
it's still going to be 100,000 short.
So there's it's not. Some people were saying 6 to 650. That's not true. They're offering 7 to 750.
Okay.
Wow. But there's no reason why St George should wear near that.
Yeah.
If that deal goes through, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that if Zach doesn't want to be there because he's unhappy, you'd prefer a happy player.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
I just found it bizarre how he tried to make St George pay for the bill.
well, that's Gus for you.
Another thing I want to bring.
A
Yeah,
guy who's flipped his entire squad in 3 years.
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
1.5 basically. This
and
last
not
time.
all because their contracts expired.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Another one, mate. Keith Barnes passed away.
Yeah.
Balmain legend.
Balmain legend.
Did he
Golden
played,
boots.
He captained Australia, didn't he?
I'm not sure if he captained Australia. Did he even captain Balmain?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, mate. Yeah, he was
He's
administrator
Welsh.
there for a while.
You know he's Welsh.
Is he Welsh?
He was
Yeah.
born in Wales and he had a Welsh accent.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay. I know him as a CEO at Balmain.
yeah.
Yeah, that's when I
Pretty special player.
yeah.
definitely.
I know he was a great kicker.
They say that he was one of the few rugby league players who transitioned from the field to an administrator
Was he one
and
of
did
the
such a
first?
great job. Apparently, he was running the club, the Leeds club, the football club, and
Okay.
everything that came with it
Okay.
out of his shirt pocket. You know, yeah.
And he had a very, very good eye for talent because apparently Rab said a story that one day Keith was looking at the Queensland combined team and this young kid was coming off the bench all the time. And Keith Barnes looked at Rabs and said, I don't understand why the kid comes off the bench all the time. This guy's a star. Why don't they start with this kid? Anyway, that kid was Wally Lewis.
Yeah.
So, Keithy Barnes, apparently a really good man. Sad loss. And the G-Man, Balmain Tigers.
Balmain Tigers, yeah.
Suppose you would have
We've
loved it.
had a couple of big losses in the last couple of weeks with Ian Heads as well.
Hedgie went away, yeah. Hedgie, a great journer.
Yeah, it is.
I actually, when I do, it'd be funny, when I do some of my researches last year with the thingy bob, not the Gus School, the bullfrog,
yeah.
one. He was one of the guys who I went to his articles, and he writes really simple. And you know, I'm not a great reader. He writes so simple that I can actually understand what he was going on about, so I can translate it onto paper. So, yeah.
They've got
Good
the
man.
Keith Barnes stand there at Leichhardt Oval.
Yes, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there down the back there. So
Yeah. Couple of things I want to run through you guys. A couple of bunker decisions, which I thought were crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think. What do you think of that try Manly scored where the knock on, where the guy threw it, intercept?
So that's been a knock on every time I've seen it for the last 35 years.
Did you find that bizarre as well as I did?
Yeah.
What about
so
you, George?
was that called a knock on?
It was the one where he passed it.
Yeah, I did see. I did.
Yeah, it was the bunker called it, cleared it. It said went backwards.
Okay, that's a knock on.
I honestly believe that when it comes to the knock-on rule, I think they should change the rule to just losing possession of the ball. Doesn't matter forwards, backwards.
Yeah,
It's becoming too hard to officiate. It's just if you lose possession, it's a knock-on.
it's a
I don't know.
joke.
What do you guys think?
Every day of the week, the knock-ons are called. Even when they just drop the ball, they've been calling knock-ons. That one there, for some reason, there's a no.
Unless one definitely goes back.
But it used to be,
you can say
I believe it used to be when you were facing forward and the ball's propelled forward. Now it just doesn't. Now it doesn't matter. Now players drop the ball facing their own goal line, and they call it a knock on. So
It's propelled forward, yeah. Look,
they might as well just be for any loss of possession.
well, it is basically, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so.
Very rarely do you see a call gets ruled
So-
that it was
so-
knocked backwards.
The bunker cleared it, but the guy who knocked it on, did he regain and run?
No,
No,
Cooler
someone
picked it
else
up
did.
and ran.
Played
the
the
length
whistle.
of the field, basically.
Yeah.
But Penrith
game
stopped. Penrith basically thought, hey, it's a gimme. Like, it looked like
Well, that's a knock on every day of the week.
it is.
Yeah.
The amount of knock-ons.
And can I ask you a question? If the technology can't rule on a forward pass, how can it rule on a knock on?
Exactly. Yeah.
How can you tell me if a ball's gone forwards or backwards if you can't do it from a pass?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me, George?
Yeah, no, look, just visual. What can I say to you? you know what I think and what Adi thinks of bunkers. So, blow them up.
Yeah.
The good thing about bunkers is you should blow them up. So, I'm a fan.
The last one I want to bring up is I find it was a ridiculous decision. I don't know whether it was the bunker who made this. I think it was. Victor Radley got sim bin for a hip drop. It didn't even look like a hip drop. That was a joke. He got 10 minutes in the bin.
He had one hand on him.
Roosters were on a roll. They were on a roll. Puts him in the bin. They're playing with 2 men down,
Yeah.
right, against Canterbury.
That stopped the roll.
And at the end of that, MRC look at it. No, not a hip drop.
How
wrong was that?
But it wasn't a hip drop.
It wasn't.
He had one hand on him.
Exactly.
It was not even close to being a hip
The
drop.
bunker call. I don't think the ref called it. I think the bunker pulled it back and
that
said
was pretty
hip drop
bad.
because Crichton was holding his ankle as if he. Let's call a spade a spade. He actually got him sin-binned. You know that Crichton played it. He was holding his shin as if something happened.
Crichton did.
Crichton did. He was.
Crichton did what every player is doing
Exactly.
now, right? When the crusher tackle came out,
Yeah.
I had never seen until that point a player hold the back of their neck.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm seeing every week now? Players are holding their ankles like they've just broken it.
Yeah.
Right? To get penalties. And Crichton milked that.
He milked
to a
it
T.
superbly.
Yeah.
After kick out, so we don't do that type of thing here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
Kickout was doing it himself the week before.
it was ridiculous. That
Yeah.
was the worst hip drop decision I've ever seen in my life.
it's bad.
And everyone's come out, and even the MRC said no. So I don't know. Where are we going, man?
No case to answer.
Where are we going?
I'm not a fan. I hate
Look,
bunkers.
let's be clear about something. The Dogs never deserved to lose that game.
Oh,
They never deserved to lose that game.
we'll talk more about that.
But that was
yeah.
that was a bad decision.
I don't know. Give me 10 more minutes. I think Roosters would have got it.
I think they would have. Yeah, absolutely.
With 11
I just don't think the
Or
Dogs.
12.
We'll touch on it when we
Yeah,
go
exactly,
through the game. Let's get into the round it was because it's in the can, George.
in the can, Nicola, in the can.
What an absolute firecracker of the first game. Melbourne 34, Broncos 32. This literally went down to the last 3 seconds.
Again, the storm.
And but what about the Broncos with the players they're losing and missing?
Yeah.
They lost Reynolds at halftime. This is a special team. When they're at full strength,
Yeah.
they're unbelievable.
I look
When-
like-
can you think about the players they're missing.
Yeah, no.
Payne Haas still had to come back. And did everyone see that new guy?
The
Have
Giant.
you seen the new guy?
Oh, my
Andre
God.
the Giant. He's the biggest man in rugby
back-
league.
How
How old was he?
roll.
18 or something? 17,
Can you
18?
imagine when him and Payne Haas are playing alongside each other? It'll be an eclipse.
I reckon.
I'd
reckon-
hate to be tackling them.
Good team.
I remember when Payne Haas made the serve, we go, oh my God, look at the size of this guy. And then this other kid comes out on Friday, hold your beer.
Is
and
he
he just
Is he
outdid him.
18?
He's something like that, yeah.
He looks very young. You can see in the face he's a young kid.
But Melbourne and Melbourne, obviously, they had everyone back with the exception of Nelson Asofa Solomona. But the Broncos were missing players. They lost Reynolds, like I said, at halftime.
Yeah, that was a big loss.
But, man, they just kept coming and coming and coming.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I said at the start of the show that I was battling this weekend. I was in and out, but what I do know, it was a very, very, very entertaining game to watch. If you want to attack, this is the one for you. And if it wasn't for Reynolds' injury, unfortunately, because the kicking game sort of diminished for the Broncos, but still. They were in the picture for the victory, but again, Melbourne last minute. You know what? I told Nico before. You know when the fullback for the Broncos had it, and he just went to the ground, lied down, and then Monster came, picked it, took it off.
Yeah,
him,
that was play on. That should
took
have
it
been
off him,
play
and
on.
he scored. And I don't know what they called.
I think they
called
ruled
it
that he was
back.
tackled in the air,
Well,
but he wasn't.
Yeah, that's just the one I want.
It should have been play on. Do you remember
if it was
that?
tackled in the air.
No,
Then,
but he wasn't.
yeah, well, that's
Even the
something
commentators were saying like, well, blindside, like that should be play on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And Munster was smart enough to just pick up the ball and run.
Yeah.
And it should have been play on.
Oh, you're right, Ari, about Christian Saylor, is it? What's his name?
Tristan Saylor.
Tristan Saylor.
Star.
He's a first grader.
See that pass he get, that
He's a
cut
first
out?
grader. He's a first grader.
He's a gun, absolute gun. I was devastated he left Saints.
I would put him at 6 and put until thing comes back.
Well, Reece
Reynolds
Walsh
come
is back this week.
Oh, he's Reece Walsh
He's
back.
back early, and Tristan Saylor's retained a spot in the 17. Walters has put him on the bench.
I thought
So
he put him
how
in
much
half for Reynolds. Isn't he going to go on the half for Reynolds?
What I read today is that he's number 17.
Okay.
How much more strike do you want?
He's fantastic.
How much strike?
And this is just a funny one, and we'll get there, but because of their injuries, Corey Oates is starting on the wing this week.
Excellent.
Wow.
Wow. This team has got so much strike. And I know Melbourne beat them, and look, Melbourne's Melbourne. They're I thought they weren't going to be in the picture, but they're in the picture again, and again in the picture for another top 4, top 6 finish. But Broncos, how much strike?
Mate, one thing I want to call out with this one is Munster, Jerome Hughes, Kristen Welsh, and Pappenhausen, that spine, first time together for 627 days, nearly 2 years it's been since that spine has been intact. So it was good to see them fall back in for Melbourne, which is excellent.
Yeah.
They looked fantastic. I thought Jerome Hughes was really, really good. I like him. He's such a good player. That kid, Takura, tallest player in the competition apparently, standing at 205 centimetres. The guy's a giant.
Imagine him and Payne Haas
Absolute
together.
giant. But Melbourne look really good too, boys. I think they're going to be
both teams. My question, what was it in score?
34-32. Credit to Broncos to only lose by 2, man. That's fantastic with that injury toll.
So
The Broncos are playing without fear.
Yes.
Like they're just saying stuff. Like they're taking even in the wet weather. The week before, they were doing the same
they're a
thing.
great attacking team, but when a team gets 34 or 32 scored against them, no one's talking about this. There's question marks on the defense, or are we talking the attack was so sparkling?
It was pretty.
Well, how often do
I
you,
agree that the attack was sparkling, but
how often do you concede 32 points and win?
yeah,
Right.
exactly, yeah. I mean, you'd say not only you win, you'd win well.
Yeah,
If you scored 32.
Yeah.
So a bizarre game, but a highly entertaining game. And just to see some of those players, Kobo just running free, carrying all of them was good. Do you know what I mean? And similar with the Storm. Just a special game. You just put that away.
You
Special
want,
game.
What about-
Rewind it and watch it again.
What about that Troyes Roman scored where he just ran through?
He's
It was
your
the
man.
shades
That was
of Blacklock.
Blacklock, yeah, the bounce.
Still,
Yeah.
sorry, oh man, that was such a good
99,
try.
yeah.
Loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah, the bounce. Just he saw it.
Oh,
hey,
he just attacked
read
it.
He
Bang.
read it. Beautiful. Did you
Short
see it?
kicking game. Yeah, he
Special
bounced back.
try.
And off he went for the prize. He must be.
You want to talk about freakish games? Let's talk about the next one. Bulldogs 30 points to 26 over the Roosters. 26-0 at half time, and the Bulldogs were tearing them to shreds.
You know what? The first half of this game, and then I sort of blanked out after the second half. But I have watched the short. I thought to myself, it's more about the Roosters than about the Dogs. And what I mean about there is that I'm thinking, I'm going to write all this down, and I didn't get up. I mean, I was thinking someone's got to tell Brandon Smith he's not a theobot, he's not a dummy half. Someone's got to take the halves and put them in Reggie's so they can learn how to play halves. You know what I mean? I'm going all these scenarios. They were terrible. And, yeah, the Dogs were good. The Dogs were good. Then you tell me what you blokes saw on the second half, because I blanked out after that.
Well, look, in the first half, I saw a bit of both. The Dogs were fantastic, and the Roosters were obviously off.
Well, terrible, yeah.
They lost Dom Young, obviously. But the second half, I can't even tell you what happened, even though I watched it. It was,
Yeah.
But sorry, I just 1 second. But just one thing I want to point out, because a lot of people talk about the Roosters. They had Young sent off. They had Radley sin binned. They lost Tedesco early in the game.
Teddy,
But the Dogs had their fair share of adversity as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they lost their fullback. They had a couple of players with broken hands who came on and finished the game. They had someone with a calf strain who finished the game. Okay. They had to activate their 18th man as well.
Yeah.
It was a bloodbath in that sense from both sides.
It was. It was the first time Robbo can name a full-strength team since 2019. It's the first time without suspension,
and it went
without injuries.
Pretty quick.
But you know what happened? It only lasted 22 minutes because Sam Walker got injured, taken off. Tedesco then 7 minutes later or 5 minutes later got taken off. Then it was a game of carnage. Both teams. Canterbury lost Taff. Didn't they activate their 18th man in the first half? I've never seen that before. Ever since that rule came in, it's the first game I've seen the 18th man come in the first half so quickly. But Bulldogs in the end, they had like 5 guys that shouldn't have been on the field. They were like battling, kick out, fractured leg. 2 of the forwards, I think, came off. Canterbury were just holding in, but they were battered. They were so injured. And they held on. Good effort by Canterbury to hold on.
And that gets overshadowed by the Roosters' comeback and all that.
It did.
So I wanted to make a point of that.
But the Roosters did play with 1 man down and 2 men at one stage for most of the game. So for them to come back
2 with 11 men.
Exactly. So to come back was phenomenal. The start killed them. Take away that start, that first 10, 15 minutes, the Roosters win that game. It was an awful start and...
But how good were Canterbury in that?
You won't see a better half of football from Canterbury ever.
How good were Canterbury?
That was fantastic.
How good were
they
great. In that first 10, 15 minutes? They were smashing.
They were. Burton was running the ball. Burton was great.
Yeah. Kickout was destroying
them.
Yes.
Everyone was lifting. You know, I reckon their backline's dynamic. Bronson Sherry. You got the other guy.
I noticed he lost a little bit of pace.
He did.
He's lost
4 years.
The guy from Cronulla.
4 years. Give him some time.
They got the guy from Cronulla as well, Connor Tracy.
He's very good.
They got a dynamic back line, losing Tafe early too. They had to move. Who'd they move to the back? Crichton, that's it, yeah.
And he'll be starting at fullback this week.
How did he go? How did he go fullback?
Good, mate. Fantastic. So,
he went all right.
Second half, you didn't see much.
They conceded all the points.
Yeah. They're a much better team than last year. That's one thing.
Oh,
no,
no, definitely.
And you've got to be proud of it. That's one game that at the start of the year you wouldn't have seen 2 points.
Start of the year, the start of the day, I gave the Bulldogs no. I actually said to you, I owe you an apology because I actually said to you sitting here a week ago, I said, this game will give us a chance of seeing where the Bulldogs are really at. I'm not expecting them to win, but in terms of their performance, well, boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
I was right and wrong. We've seen what they've got, you know.
I hope so. I hope they keep the effort up. I know they're a bit depleted now. The team, there's been a few players coming in from the Reggies because of the injuries, of course. Artie, I think we missed the 3-2-1 for the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, mate.
The Broncos game.
3-2-1. Let me just have a look, mate. Bloody Manol, you're sending me pigeons.
Pigeons again.
Again, mate. 3-2-1. First 3 points. He gave it to the back rower, Alicia Katoa from Melbourne. Scored 2 bullocking tries. He was fantastic, the back rower from Melbourne. 2 points to Jerome Hughes.
Of course. Yeah.
And he gave a point to Patrick Carrigan.
Oh, Carrigan, okay.
He had a good game.
Yeah,
he was good.
He's always good.
For the Bulldogs, he gave 3 points to Kikau, 2 points to Burton.
Yes.
And he gave 1 point. He was disappointed with the Roosters. Joseph Manu, though, he had to give a point to him because... No, but he played really well. He was the only one. He dragged them back in the game.
Okay.
Second half he was phenomenal. I think he's managed a point nearly in every game.
I think he's playing fullback this week.
Yeah,
so can't wait to see that.
Be good to see, yeah.
All right, and moving on to the next game in torrential rain was Newcastle, 30 points to 10 over the Dragons.
Oh, God.
Tell us what happened there, Artie.
Those conditions were atrocious, man, and credit to the Knights supporters for going to that game.
10,000 or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how patriotic, how good is that, to have the Knights fans attend?
Did you guys see the guy trying to eat a hot dog in the rain?
Yeah, absolutely. These guys were drinking scotches and beers, one guy with goggles. Fantastic. But... they just handled the wet conditions a lot better. The sad thing about that is probably the only highlight, the highlight of St George's season was in that game. That flick pass from Lomax
was
to
great,
Hunt.
yeah.
That was amazing. But unfortunately, it was to a game where they lost 30-10. It would have been good if it was in a winning game or last minute of the game or something. It would have been fantastic. But that was phenomenal. But Newcastle played the conditions perfectly. Jack Cogger, kicking game. Guys played like a handful of games up against Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt was atrocious. His kicking game was terrible.
Very difficult
Midfield bombs. It was, but Jack Cogger's was in the same conditions, and his kicks were pin perfect. Same with Hastings. Whereas those 2 times, Cole Flanagan got the ball in the last tackle and he got tackled. It's like they've banned anyone from kicking the ball in the last. It's only to Ben Hunt, and Ben Hunt just kept shanking him. It was terrible. So I think we've got a lot of problems there with this last tackle options. Too predictable, giving the ball to Hunt and letting him kick. It was just disappointing. Flanagan was disappointed with Sloan, but I think there's a lot more to be disappointed than just Sloan, because those tries that they scored, they're off kicks, and he slipped, and his defence was a bit poor, but the conditions were terrible. But not taking anything from the Knights, they were fantastic. And good on them. I don't know how they're going to go this week, but if they play like they did, then they'll win a few more games. Yeah. But I told you guys, Belinda Sharp hates us, mate.
I was gonna, you know what? The first thing I noticed when you got me, you got me on there every time.
First tackle, they kicked off.
From the Sharp,
they tackled Newcastle. Penalty Newcastle. Yeah. Second set, first tackle. How can you play 2 penalties in 2 minutes?
I don't know.
Come on, man. Come on.
What were the offences?
Holding him down. And then you watch the game. You know how many times Brayley, the guy, the hooker, he was a grub. He's a little grub, that guy. He was holding him down all game and nothing. But hurt. And then she called 2 tries, guaranteed. The Newcastle, straight away, they called the 2 tries. Yeah. Lucky the bunker overcalled them. The bunker came to our rescue. There was one where the guy was clearly over the dead ball line, and she didn't even go upstairs. It straight away whistled it. And the other one, she doesn't know the rules. She clearly doesn't know the rules.
There's no bias here.
The hooker, the guy dives between the player's legs to score, right? Straight away, try. Bunker calls it, no try. The guy went through the legs. Like, it was so obvious. You don't know the rules? Anyway, Belinda, you're not refereeing any games this week, so thank God. She should just stay in the kitchen, man. She's terrible. Terrible ref. No. She's terrible. Keep away from Dragons games, man. Just keep away.
All I know.
I don't
I'm
like her at
actually
all.
a fan of Belinda Sharp.
No, yeah. She's shit.
All I know, the very little that I watched from this is that it was just a bog. It wasn't even a real rugby league game. It was just survival of the fittest, and there's nothing to take out of this game besides Belinda Sharpie's. I
want you to pay attention from now on till the rest of the year. I want you to pay attention to see any team that gets penalised on the first tackle off a kickoff.
Artie,
tell me, off the kickoff, first minute.
Artie, if you're not a fan of Sharpie, I'm on board. I'm on board, brother. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm with you all the way.
Just keep an eye on that stat.
Flano's got to work on their discipline, Artie.
First minute. Come on.
And Sharp.
So what about the next one, the Rabbitohs at Core Stadium in Homebush, a home game? They got smacked 34-4 by the Warriors in what was a dismal day for South.
Can we talk about the Warriors?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
You know what? Go, George.
Very good.
They're fantastic.
They're a very good rugby league team, and with Clock Stack coming back, it's the dynamics changed again. I love the shapes they throw up. You know what? Once upon a time, Sean Johnston was a Steve Mortimer, chip and chase, this and that. Once these halfbacks get into their 30s and 31s, all of a sudden they change because you know what? They work out they can't chip and chase. So they've got no choice. Like Benji, he's back end of his career. I'll game manage. And you know what? They've got that one chip and chase in it. That one?
Yeah.
They'll do one in a game, okay?
Yeah.
So Sean is outstanding, and I don't know how he's going in Manoli's 3-2-1s.
Sorry,
but,
we didn't. Did we do 3-2-1 for Newcastle?
No, we didn't.
3-2-1. Jack Cogger got 3 points,
Yeah.
the half. Second was Callum Ponga on 2. He had a good game from behind.
Good.
And he gave 1 point to Zach Lomax, maybe because of that flick pass. But he was pretty
Zach
dynamic.
was probably the best.
He was the best player.
What I saw, I thought Zach was the best player on field. I'm not going to talk about South Sydney. I'll let you guys talk about South Sydney. But, gee, the Warriors are a good team. And they're just building and getting better.
Yeah.
I tell you what, one of their, I suppose, stars who's going unnoticed is Wade Egan.
Exactly.
He's coming into the Origin picture now, I think.
Of
New
course.
South Wales?
I think so.
Yeah, he's a Penrith boy.
Oh, is it Penrith?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if Webster had him.
Oh, that's no.
Probably did.
No, you're absolutely right because I've heard Phil Gould say he picked him out of
course he did.
Mudgee or something, Lithgow,
Of course he did.
and independent system. But he's
he
just he's a bit of an unsung hero at the moment.
Yeah.
But he's just getting better and better
He's
and better.
fantastic.
Well, I think he came in recently because he was injured. I think 2
Yeah.
games he's had now.
Yeah.
And he's changed again, like Kloppenstack. He's
Even
changed
last
the
year.
dynamic of the team. I just like watching them play. I just like watching their shapes play. Their forwards are wow. I can't say good enough. But I was watching and not really watching it. I was forcing myself to watch this game, so I'm going to dip out now and I'll let you blokes tell me what happened because I was like I said, I just watched some really nice
South
shapes.
were
Terrible.
making a lot of unforced errors.
Yeah.
Just out of position. It was like watching Parramatta. Out of position, just unfocused, wrong decisions. The Warriors were 2 steps ahead of them the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I saw this is everyone's got Rabbitohs in crisis after that game when I think they're not giving the respect the Warriors deserved. They were just outstanding. They didn't beat South because South played bad. They would have beaten anyone that day. They were fantastic. And we spoke about it before. Latrell Mitchell was lucky to stay on, so South are lucky that it
Harry
didn't
didn't
get
get
worse.
sin bin. 2 incidents.
So imagine if he did.
I saw that in my blurriness. I saw that, and the first thing I said in my brain, I go, well, he's got to get sent off. He's elbowed someone in the face.
Yeah.
And who does he elbow? Sean Johnson, the nicest guy in the world. But anyway,
No sin bins. 2 separate incidents.
I know.
And we're seeing other players get binned left and right.
You know what? The lifting, I mean, he put his hand between the legs. But we can argue about
But Cody already had him wrapped up. There was no
I
need
know.
to come over and
I know.
do that.
But we can argue about that one. But the dude elbowed someone in the face. Even 1977, he would have been a send-off.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. But anyway.
It's crazy. But like you pointed out, Nick, Wade Egan was sensational. He was fantastic. And what I got out of this game is I thought Roosters and Penrith are going to be in the grand final. Nah, man. Warriors. I honestly believe Warriors can beat the grand final.
I still think the
and
Broncos
can win it. And
Broncos
Broncos.
will be there,
Oh, for sure. But I think the Warriors are a genuine grand finalist
I agree.
winner this year.
agree.
If anyone's going to beat Penrith, I reckon it's them.
All Broncos, yeah.
How good is Webster going? This is his second year. Last year we had Payton have his second year. He sort of dipped a bit. And a lot of coaches, they have one good year and then they dip the second. Mate, this guy's getting better.
And I was worried about how he'd go this year. It's still very early, but
Very experienced.
but
coach.
the signs are there. This is not just a freakish run. This is something solid building underneath. And they've had a couple of hard losses.
Yeah.
And you can see what's just building and coming together.
Yeah. I agree.
I honestly believe that the best lock in the comp at the moment is Tohu Harris. The best half is Sean Johnson, and the best hooker is Wade Egan. He has got the best 3 in those positions, I think, and that's him. He's brought the best out of these guys.
And the best front rower.
And the best front row. Yeah, absolutely.
With South, probably the less we say, the better. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, they're terrible?
They were terrible.
Yeah.
15 errors and completed 63%. So it was shit. It was really bad.
I just kept on seeing them miss tackles.
Yeah. It is. It's sad. And the sad thing before that was Lachlan Neelius getting that injury, which has him out for 3 to 6 months. So
It's a season.
Broken leg. 3-2-1.
3-2-1. Sean Johnson got the 3. It was a tough call. He said it was very tough between him and Wade Egan.
Okay.
So he gave 3 to Sean Johnson. In the end, Wade Egan 2 and Tohu Harris got the 1 point. He was everywhere.
I know he knows his staff, man.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Spot on.
Nothing for Latrell.
Nothing for
Sorry,
the
3 weeks.
Now I'm picking on him. Aren't I?
3 weeks.
Manly Seagulls at Brookie, 32 points to 18 over the Panthers. It was the Daily Cherry Evans show. It was his. He broke the record. He broke Cliff Lyon's record
Yeah.
as the most capped Can we say that in rugby league? The most capped.
The most capped Manly player.
Yeah, most capped. That's a soccer term.
So he's when he retires, he'll be the legend there.
He's played the most games for Manly.
Played the most. Yeah.
Wow! And when you think about
what a game he had.
Yeah. When you think about Cleafy, when you think about what's that back with Beaver? When you think about all the legends, Terry Randall, and he's got the record. That's great.
Bozo. But he was chipping and chasing. He was taking goal kicks. He was doing everything. It was everywhere, everywhere. Taking intercepts.
Really?
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Phenomenal.
He scored a try.
It was vintage Cherry Evans.
Did he score a try? He scored a try. He kicked goals. Mate, the one thing that I really loved about this game is the whole crowd were calling out Cherry, Cherry.
Oh, really?
The atmosphere sounded sensational.
And
Everyone was
Penrith were good
cheering
too.
for him. They love this kid. He would have felt cloud nine. That was probably the best day of his life. And he didn't disappoint. He played out of his skin. Like
Best game I've seen him play.
He gave the crowd something to cheer about.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And to see him of all players score a try and just boot the ball into the crowd and fist bump. Like you don't see that emotion from him,
No,
it's very reserved. So it was really good to see.
Even-handed.
And Brooks had a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
One thing, as soon as that game finished, I wanted to say this one thing to George. Manly the soul takers, they took Penrith's soul.
let me explain. Let me explain what I think happened in terms of mental ways. There was a fighter called Mike Tyson, and in his younger days, even before he entered the ring, he had won.
Yeah,
He had won. The guy who faced him knew the reputation, even if he had done nothing, and they rolled over. Later in his career, that didn't happen. The aura had gone.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's what's happened with what's happening to Penrith at the moment, because of all the player drain. And let me tell you that in the Harold Matthews Shield, okay, they didn't make the finals. In the SG Ball, they didn't make they didn't make the final. They didn't make the top 8. Okay, okay. None of the rep teams have made it semi-finals. So you can argue that this wave of youngsters are not coming through of that quality anymore. Okay, so now we've got a scenario of Manly doing what they've done, and then we got Broncos looking and say they're not that bad. They're not that bad. Okay,
Yeah.
then you got the Roosters looking at it. They're not that bad.
yeah.
So that aura is gone now. For me,
that
aura is gone.
I'll give you a better analogy than Mike Tyson.
Please.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV.
Ivan Drago. He's cut. You
cut.
see? He's not a machine. He's a
human.
man.
He's a man.
Yeah.
One thing. Sorry, mate. What were you
No, I
going to
was just going to say it was an entertaining game.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was one guy that absolutely stood tall that game. Nathan Brown absolutely gave it
Shit, he had one of his best
to
games.
Fisher Harris.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
just running at him. He goes, you know what? I'm
Shame
going
he
to
couldn't
take.
do that 2 years ago.
He made them lift. It was Nathan Brown said, "You follow me, boys," and he was smashing. them.
Really?
That was the best game I've seen
He
from
had a
Nathan
really,
Brown.
really good game, yeah.
Fantastic game.
Good on him.
Belting them.
I'm a fan of.
He couldn't do it 2 years ago.
I know. Well, we had Jacob Arthur to worry about. Anyways,
the Leota and his partner, the Fish. They haven't done what they did last year in the grand final all year. I think, again, not that they're not very good front rowers, but at that level, we might not see too much more.
I thought they were okay against the Leota was good. I don't think Fisher Harris played, but Leota was pretty strong against the Broncos in that game. I reckon he lifted that game. But this one here, Nathan Brown just didn't let him. He just kept running at them like I've got you. Wow. He was taking it on him and he's saying, "Follow me, boys."
The shorts are very deceiving.
Yeah, I know. You got to watch. You got to watch Nathan Brown's big hits. What's his name? Lee Martin only lasted 33 minutes. He got HIA. So. That was a bit of a loss to them. But the Eagles made 8 line breaks to 3, man. How many times does a team make that many line breaks against Penrith?
Yeah, that's
So they played really well.
I still believe that aura's gone now.
Yeah. It was also Manly's day. They wanted to really – you can tell they wanted to lift for Cherry. You know what I mean? It was a special day, and that's, I think, what lifted them as well.
He's a
And
special
Penrith,
human
anything they threw at them, Manly just held. They weren't going to lose.
Okay.
I don't think anyone wouldn't have beaten them that day.
3-2-1.
3-2-1, Daly Cherry Evans got 3, Nathan Brown 2, and Dylan Edwards, as usual, man.
Really?
Yeah.
He was so strong at the back again. He did a lot of things to sort of stem the flow a bit because they could have scored more points. But yeah,
I saw one try he scored, Dylan Brown.
He scored 2.
Dylan Edwards, sorry.
Dylan Edwards, sorry. Yeah, Dylan
I saw
Edwards
one
scored
try
2.
he scored,
Yeah, he did well, man, but not much else he can do.
No, it was definitely a good night for Cherry Evans, but well deserved.
Yeah.
And in the press conference, you couldn't wipe the smile off his face.
Oh, yeah,
really?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's good to see.
Mm.
And closing out Saturday night, you had the Dolphins 26 points to 16 over the West Tigers up at Suncorp Stadium.
Sorry, one thing I want to say about Daly Cherry Evans, that 10-year deal doesn't look so bad after all that.
Nah.
Yeah.
The only one. The only one.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
No, that was it. Yeah, so the Dolphins 26-16 over the West Tigers. Probably a bit closer than what the score suggested, but the Dolphins, they just always kept their nose in front. Tigers obviously missing a few players. Dolphins lost a few during the game as well.
Yeah, they got a bit of an injury toll that game. A few forwards got out.
Yeah.
But
I think they've lost Herbie Farmworth and Flegler as well.
yeah. They're top of the table and they're staying there, but when you look at the teams they've beaten, it's Titans, Tigers, and Dragons. So it's hard to, and they got flogged by the Cowboys. So they're a hard team. Are they really as good as people think they are on the ladder? This week we'll find out. They're playing the Broncos, but unfortunately they've got the 2 guys out. They've got a heavy injury toll, so we won't get to see the real Dolphins because losing Farmworth and Fegler, that would have been fantastic for them to come back into that game.
Farmworth
Would have
and
been,
Flegler.
exactly. But they're out. So
Big loss.
I think Dolphins are going to be in a lot of trouble this week, but they deserve to win it 26-16. They were in control.
Yeah.
They had the
were.
Tigers.
They never looked like losing. But,
Yeah.
To be fair. But yeah, it was a bit of a seesawing game.
It was, yeah.
Anything good from the Tigers? Any good players?
Well, they've got a young kid called Solomona Fatape, whatever he played in the outside backs. He scored a couple of tries, which was a shining light. But yeah, Dolphins just played a disciplined game. I want to give you one stat, guys. What is it? It was a chance. Dolphins hooker Marshall King and the Tigers coach Benji Marshall were the second set of brothers to face off, coach and player, after 2 others. Who are the 2 others?
Brian and Tony Smith.
Yeah, you got it, mate. You got it.
And
Brian?
Coach.
Brian Smith was the coach. Tony Smith was the player.
Illawarra, playing for Illawarra.
And Tony Smith was the brother.
And was there another one?
No, it was them. So you got a
Okay.
coach and his brother
There you go.
against each other, and that was the second time it's happened. Before that was Tony and Brian Smith. Kafusi, eh?
I don't know how I remember that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But just to let you know, guys, they've lost Harvey Farmworth, Falusi, Kafusi.
yeah, they lost him to, I think, a hamstring during the game as well.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
playing well too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Flegler, AC joint.
Oh, no.
Injuries. So
AC.
AC joint.
They had 2 or 3 AC joint shoulder injuries and Kafusi as well.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Shocker.
Bennett was grumpy as in the press conference.
Shoulder. Oh, better than knee than shoulder.
3-2-1 for that one.
The 3-2-1 for that one was Jeremy Marshall King got the 3. The front rower from the Tigers, Stefano Utakamono, whatever.
Yeah.
Hard name to pronounce. He had a pretty good game, actually. He was really good. He's a very good player. He got the 2 points, and Cody Nikorima got the 1 point for that game in the halves. He was pretty solid as well. The young half, I think his name's Katoa.
Yes.
He was pretty good too, actually. He's a good player, that kid.
But the Tigers were impressive. Like they even in losing, you can see the improvement. You know, and they're not at full strength, but you can see the attitude adjustment, the difference.
Good.
And I think Appy got
Benji.
injured. Appy got a bit injured, I think.
Gastro boy apparently
Gastro boy.
broke his ankle before kickoff, but he toughed it out. No, he had what did he do? Hamstring.
So
Last week he was gastro. This week he was hamstring.
Might be in doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, for this week.
He's not in doubt. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. They're playing a bit of ping pong there.
I'm hoping he is.
But yeah, moving right along. Cowboys Man, the Gold Coast so close yet so far. Cowboys 35-22, handing Hasler his 5th loss in a row. And you know what, George? The Coast almost came back and stole it.
Really?
Yep. The Chad went into the sin bin.
The
And
Chad.
they scored a few quick tries.
Yeah.
And then they threw an intercept which killed the game.
as Gold Coast.
Yeah. It was
Was it entertaining?
it was in the last half an hour. I don't know, Artie, what did you think? I mean, the first half was pretty stock standard.
Yeah. I didn't see much of this game, to be honest.
The second half, Cowboys had a commanding lead. It might have been 35. I can't remember. It might have been 35-6 or something along those lines, but don't quote me on it. But Chad Townsend got sent to the sin bin for a hip drop tackle, and the Gold Coast just came alive. They started carving up. They scored 2 or 3 tries in a row, and with a good maybe 8 or 10 minutes left. Again, don't quote me. I'm going off memory, but they took the ball from the kickoff, and everyone's like, they're 1 try away. They were 6 points behind.
Wow.
You know, and I can't remember who it was, threw an intercept.
No.
And I think, was it Cole Felt? I think
Might have been, yeah.
Cole Felt caught it and just killed the game. Like,
Yeah.
And I just, you feel for the Gold Coast because I actually wanted them to get it. You know, I feel for Hasler. I feel for the team. They're 0-5.
Did Hasler see some shoots? There's shoots there?
Look, yes, in the second half, if they had started the game like that, I think it took the one man over advantage to maybe help them get a little bit of belief in themselves, what they are capable of doing.
Yeah.
And we started to see it as well. So I'm not sure who they got this week. We'll know shortly. But
How did young Campbell go?
Yeah, he went well. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
Yeah. Look, from what I saw, it looked like Cowboys raced to a handy lead, and they might have put the cue in the rack. They did score the 2 tries when Chad was injured, Simbin for 10 minutes. They scored 2 quick tries to get 12 points out of that game. But I thought Cowboys were in control most of the game. Titans did come in, make the score a bit respectable in the second half. Titans first team in NRL history to concede 28 points and above 9 games in a row.
Jeez.
It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's not a good look for Des, is it?
It's not. And the sad thing is this young kid that plays for the Cowboys, Zach Laybutt, he's in the centres. He out for the season, suspected ACL, and he only lasted 20 minutes. So poor kid. Didn't last time, but good news for at least David Fafita's playing well in his first half. He got 70 metres from 8 runs, 20 tackles, and he ended up finishing with 132 metres. So he's starting to show some wares there. Yes. David Fafita, something good coming out of that. Okay. But nah.
3-2-1, Adi.
A lot of work there. A lot of work. 3-2-1. 3-2. Oh, Drinky was unbelievable.
Oh, Drinky was good.
Yeah. What is it with him? One bad game, one good game, one bad game.
It was Townsend who got Simbin, wasn't it?
Townsend, yeah. So Drinky got the 3 points. Reece Robson got the 2, and I gave the 1 point to Valentine Holmes, but maybe I should have given it to Fafita, but Valentine Holmes got my 1 point.
Played well?
Yeah. So
Gold Coast, they can't even score a point in 3-2-1.
No.
Poor Goldie.
Poor Goldie.
And the Sharks had a bye.
What about the Raiders versus Eels?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. I was hoping we could skip past that.
We'll do it quickly. What did you see?
Raiders 41-8 over the Eels.
Gee, the score sounds so big.
It was. Look, the Raiders were red hot. They played really well. Jamal Fogarty's kicking game killed Para. Huge kicks. Para were diabolical across the park. Like I said, you've got the stats. Was it 38% possession they finished with?
Oh, let me have a look for you, mate.
I think it was that at half time. Thereabouts.
The stats.
Just a glutton of errors.
Yeah.
The defense was amazingly soft.
For both teams?
No, I'm talking about Parramatta. Amazingly soft. I mean, there was a try that Tomoko scored.
Oh, he was great.
Where he literally ran past 2 or 3 players who didn't even stick their arms out. It was like,
really?
I thought, are they stopping? Did they see something?
You're telling me that they weren't
Watch
ready.
The highlights.
They we'rt ready. I did. I just saw lots of tries.
Watch them again.
I just saw lots of tries.
Watch them again. It was horrible.
So they weren't mentally ready?
Well, no, they're horribly off. That's not going to change overnight.
Is it a one-off?
No, it's happened 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, not 40.
No, look, a better team would have put 40 on them last week, but I mean, against the Tigers, and look, rightfully so, the Tigers defended their line for long periods of time. It's been hailed as a great defensive effort, but the attack was horrible.
Yeah.
There was nothing in it, so it's a great defensive effort when you're defending against a good attacking team. This game, they were even worse.
Yeah. I think Brad wants to play that power game. Like I told you before, he wants to play that power game, but when Mr. Power, the halfback, which everything goes through, is not there, he should adjust it just a little bit.
There was a number of times where Parramatta had possession attacking the line and they dropped the ball cold. Okay. Like literally cold with no pressure on them.
Oh, no pressure. No,
like 10 metres out.
Okay.
Yeah.
One was the first tackle as well off a scrum.
Yeah.
It was just, same thing happened last week.
Yeah. And I saw last week, again, Brad likes playing A's, like right off the ruck, right into the drain. He loves playing that type of style. There's nothing wrong playing off B's. If he played off B's because you haven't got Mitch for a while, then he can go back to A's. What will happen is that all of a sudden the edge back rowers and the edge players will get more of an opportunity, and the defence have to turn their body a little bit more, and they'll sort of fan out. So what happens is that the spacing will be larger. So all I'm trying to say is just that little bit of adjustment, everything changes in front of you.
Yeah, but this was more. This was a lack of energy, a lack of.
Well, that's something that
defense is where you get the best read on things like this. How a team performs defensively. And look, Canberra were red hot. They were really sharp. They were really good. So I'm not trying to make excuses. At the end of the day,
Canberra were good.
Mitchell Moses is not an excuse for the way they've performed the last 2 weeks, and it's not going to end anytime soon. This is going to go for a while. Okay. I've seen this. I've read this book before. So 3-2-1s, Artie.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple of things about the Raiders. I thought they were pretty good, and they responded because Ricky would have given them the massive spray last week.
Right.
They lost. They were winning 18-0 and they lost.
That's
so
right.
It was a good reaction from the players for Ricky, which was good to see. You're right, mate. Para were terrible. I don't know what's happening there. It's shocking. That Matt Timoko, fantastic player. Yeah. But anyway, he got the 3 points.
How does Smitty's go?
Smithy's, he's a solid worker. He's a toiler. He does the work, He's really good. And Eels just hate that ground. They've only won 2 out of 13 there, mate. So it must be just a hoodoo. So that does play, for me, play some role. But 3 points, Timoko. 2 points for Xavier Savage. He was great.
On the wing?
Yeah.
Fullback.
He was good,
He tore up.
Like he had spiders on him. And Joseph Tapine he had a solid game.
Tapine came back.
Yeah, he's good, man. Good to see him back. So even young Hudson Young was good. See that flick that he gave when he made a break?
Well?
He was actually good.
Oh, good.
I was hoping you'd watch that game because he showed a bit more of. He's sitting there sledging still and giving it, but then he made a break and he's just done this flick pass, whatever he's done without. He's talented kid.
Yeah, no. I just thought the last 2 weeks he was really trying hard not to wear blue. Maybe he wanted to stay home and watch the game on television. I don't know. But if he's back to his best, good. Because he knows Major really well, yeah?
Yeah,
he was his coach last year. So
that's it, yeah.
So that's good. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear about Hunter Young.
Now, with the 3-2-1s, the leaderboard at the moment as it stands after round 5, you got Tavasa Shek and Viliami Kikau both on 7. So they're leading the pack. And then you got Tedesco, Olakawatu, The Hammer, Coruscant and Drinky coming up the rear with 6. So
it's interesting.
Those
no
guys
Dolphins players?
No Dolphins, no.
Interesting.
It's been spread out, I think.
What about Belinda Shaw?
Oh, she's the worst. Marshall King's up there with 5. He's only 2 points from the pace.
He's a good player.
Marshall King, so he's having a good
player.
All right, well, that's it for Controversy Corner. And we'll see you guys on part 2 of episode 67, which is our Ask Artie segment.
See you guys. Enjoy.
See you then.
Bye.